Welcome to Tales from the Fandom, a podcast that brings a special guest out of the multiverse and straight to you. And now your host, David Ginsburg.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Tales from the Fandom. Today, I have a returning guest joining me once again, and it works out to be a little bit over a year that we last had an episode release. I'm joined by Drew of Drewbearded on Twitch, and if you have joined me in the chat at any time or on the Drewbearded channel, you know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. He is the man with the multicolor hair, the beard that just won't stop. Drew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for that lovely introduction. You're right about the beard. Nobody wants it to go away. No matter how many charities I do and put it on the line, they're like, "No, we're not hitting that goal." And the multicolored hair is back, by the way. The multicolored hair came back yesterday.
I did. Let's see here. We're recording in December, and I did see it just through your Instagram and Twitter posts. Unfortunately, yesterday I was like, I could not make anybody time on Twitch.
Man, and that's understandable, dude. That's one of the biggest points that I make anytime that I am live. I am so thrilled when you can swing through, but life happens, and you and I talk on the regular, and dude, your life is crazy right now with all the responsibilities that you have and trying to do your thing on top of that. And regular, you're good, man. You never have to apologize or feel any kind of way. I know you'll swing through when you can.
That's right. And I mean, same with you. I mean, you transitioned to a whole new role, and you are now doing a different time period, I believe. You're not even going into the office, and so you had to change your stream time, which is why generally, like, we don't overlap in the evenings anymore.
Yep. I did. I was very fortunate and very grateful. My role in my 9-to-5 transitioned to an at-home role, completely different than what I was doing, because of what's going on with COVID and the world and all that fun stuff. And I was grateful to not only get an at-home role, but be able to spend more time with the family, and thus in turn that work-life balance became a huge focus for me, because I was like, I don't want to stop what I'm doing. I know that the time is going to adjust. How can I evolve the show, still do what I do, and get used to the new role that I was in? So that was a fun transition at the beginning of this year as well.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Now, about a year ago, because I think your episode last year came out somewhere in the realm of December 16th, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
This episode's going to hit in January of 2021. So it's been about a year. Last year, we talked about things like Pokemon and Disney, including things like Sophia the First. I remember talking specifically about that and how good that series was. And then, of course, we talked about Twitch and Twitch streaming and video games. And so I guess my first question is have you evolved in the Disney Junior lifestyle? Because I remember that there's clear transitions from one show to another show to the kids finding other things that they started getting into. And I was like,
yes,
how'd you find that?
So we're starting to transition completely out of Disney Junior already, which kind of breaks my heart. Like, every once in a while she'll want to pull up Sophia again, and we're like, the wife and I are like, yay, but she's moved on to things like, what is she into? Barbie Dreamhouse Adventure on Netflix, as well as True and the Rainbow Kingdom. That's a pretty popular, so she bounces between those two now. So we keep trying to pull up Disney Plus, but the daughter's palette has evolved a little bit. And I think us being around as much as we are, and her her getting influenced by us has maybe influenced her choice of consumable entertainment just a little bit. Like, I thought Disney was going to be around a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? But thankfully, between True and Barbie, they're bubbly, they're colorful, they teach good lessons. It's all about, like, similar to Sophia, like, never give up, you can do what you want, but just in different wrappings. It's actually very interesting to me how diverse Barbie truly has become, because there's all sorts of zany characters on that show, from different cultural backgrounds. They look different. It's not just about Barbie anymore. It's about showcasing Barbie and all of her friends and what they do on their little antics in Malibu. They live in Malibu, David. I'm just like, I don't even understand what this is. All a dream. You're ridiculous. And then of course True is really funny, because my favorite character on that show is the Yeti. All of them, they're adorable. They're just big blue fluffy balls, for lack of a better term. And they talk real funny. But it's True and her friend Bartleby, and they go on adventures. And again, like I'm so happy that she has options where you just see a female protagonist kicking booty in and not giving up and just doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that she is growing up with those influences of positivity in that light. So that's where we are in my daughter's entertainment.
I will never forget the day that the kids, like, we let them have access to Netflix, so they would get their own like Netflix category or channel or user ID or whatever it was. And I heard like My Little Pony playing, and I was like, what? Like, because I remember watching My Little Pony back in the 80s with my sister,
Mm-hmm.
and it was always like something. And then I remember when the new My Little Pony came out, like there's always talk about the My Little Pony and friendship is magic and all sorts of things. But then when I saw they had started transitioning from their like Nick Jr. shows or Disney Junior shows into Netflix shows, I was like, oh, okay, we've got something here. And it's been a interesting journey of what they're into now.
Yeah, man. Like it blows my it's gonna be interesting to see what she's into in like a month, because she's gonna see something. Because I even saw there was a Polly Pocket show now.
Yeah, I
Did
think
you see
so.
that? It's like on the second season or something. I'm like, what is it? Polly Pocket was out when I was a kid. And it was like little tiny toys.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I,
man.
I I never I never understood those toys. I was like, they're so small. Like
Oh, I had a Power
I'd
Ranger
lose
one.
something.
I had a Power Ranger one. The Morpher was like it was the Morpher was the little world that you would open up, and I had like the little White Ranger, and it was just silly. Like looking back on it, you're 100% right. Like they're too tiny to do anything, but I guess like kid brain, right? Cuz my daughter is obsessed with cutting pictures out of like packaging. Like we gotta blow up turkey for the yard because we're lame like that. And she loved seeing the blow up turkey and everything, and like happy it was outside. But when we were done with the box, she was like, can we cut out the turkey so I can play with the turkey? And I was like, so you're just telling me all I have to do for every gift ever is just cut out fun images from cardboard boxes and give that to you in a bow. So I'm going to be set for the next 18 years by just cutting out cardboard.
Oh gosh, I remember the days of just a cardboard box was the greatest thing. Here's a giant cardboard box. Go forth, and
Mm-hmm.
markers and crayons and cutting things out. And yeah, it's definitely they've my I know my three have now definitely changed into computers and electronics, and they want electric scooters, and
Oh my
which
gosh.
I don't get that, because it's like it defeats the purpose of
The whole
being
scooter
on a
thing.
scooter. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Those scare the heck out of me though. I read the horror stories because of where the battery's located, and they had to like recall a whole bunch of them. Like, I'm never doing it. I'm never doing it. Mm-mm. But I feel bad though. Like we tried to get her onto her, like transition her to a big girl bike with the training wheels. And the first
Hmm.
day that she went on it, gung ho, excited. And then she took that first tumble that you take as a kid. Like,
Yep.
and it wasn't even bad though. Like it was just like she had lost her balance. She wasn't going anywhere, but she fell over with the bike. And so, of course, as a parent, you're like, oh no, my baby is on the ground. And She was, of course, fine, but she got a little startled. So ever since then, she's been very, very hesitant to get on that bike. And we're just like, look, you're gonna love it. Just do it again. So we got to like ease her back in the bike. She keeps going back to the old pink tricycle. And I'm like, come on, you'll love it. I promise.
Yeah, my oldest is the same way. I know that he took a tumble on his bike, and he has not touched it since. He refuses. He's the one that wants the electric scooter, so he
Of course
can
he does.
be as quick as the twins on their bikes as they use their bikes and go around the neighborhood. And
Right.
he has relegated himself to one of those Razor scooters for now.
He'll get there. He'll get there.
So last time we talked, also, I mean, we talked Pokemon, but one of the big things, obviously, that you do is you stream on Twitch pretty regularly.
I do.
And how has the past year been for you on this Twitch journey of yours?
It has been wonderful. I am nearly double the amount of growth as far as following is concerned. But deeper than that, I've learned a whole bunch, especially in regards to community growth. I didn't understand what that meant in coming into the arena of streaming and putting up a show of this nature. Because I was like, I've never had to create a community. I never built a brand before. I don't know what any of this build a community thing means. Um, and like, if you rip everything away from what it is, it truly is a genuine place that folks want to belong to. Um, and I have been very, very fortunate in this past year to really have that strong sense of a core group that are, for lack of a better term, ride or dies, if you will. Um, and you being one of them, sir. Yes. And I just feel so fortunate with what we are creating and what we're building for Drewbearded, the show, and my family. And yeah, it's just been a phenomenal year of learning and growth for me. I'm so happy where we're at. We've been speaking openly about investing in the show, and how I am so appreciative of the investors, which ties into the community because they believe what we're building. So I would say 100% that the belief in not only the show but what we're doing as a whole is at an all-time high, and it's only getting higher as time progresses. Because the beautiful thing about where we're at is people are finding me, which I think is one of the more challenging aspects. Whether you're doing entertainment, whether you're doing talk radio, podcasting, anything, is the discoverability factor. It's really really hard to nail that down. So the fact that folks are still finding me, um, I feel very very fortunate where I'm at, and the fact that people are enjoying what's coming out of it, like all of the creative things that are coming out of it, um, is really, really a beautiful thing to behold.
Absolutely. It's one of the things that I know that I've enjoyed as being a part of the stream is not only getting to watch you play video games and being able to interact with you, but the community as a whole. Like this past year, I feel like the especially I don't want to just limit it to those ride or die members, but I feel like that core group have become a lot closer. But then as new people join, it's definitely an experience in the chat, an experience on the Discord side of things, where we're definitely more like it's very welcoming. It's something where when you start to notice the people coming back, like for the second time, the third time, the fourth time, and you just it's very just open and friendly, and getting to know people, and getting to include them in some of the jokes that are going on
A
that
hundred
they may
percent.
not be aware
A
of.
100%. Like, I'll give you an example. I was kind of doing some research last night while I was doing my social thing on some other shows that had been recommended to me. And one of the the comparisons, if you will, because you kind of try and learn things when you go into other folks' show and see how they're doing things and their approach to certain aspects. And I think to your point, one of the great things that the Beardies do well, um, is anytime somebody new comes in, if I happen to miss them, because I feel very, very proud of the fact that I still am at a point where I'm very good at paying attention to chat when there's a new name, welcoming them in, have them introduce themselves to everybody. But if there's that off chance where I do miss somebody, one of y'all will totally jump in and be like, "Hey, welcome, welcome. Make yourself at home. Introduce yourself. What's going on? How are you this evening?" And it's a beautiful thing to see, because on the offset of this journey, it's nothing I anticipated, right? Because it goes back to that lack of knowledge and the fact that we're at that point so early in the channel's life. Because let's be honest, at almost 2 years, my show is a baby. my show my show is an utter baby. So, you know, the fact that we have such a welcoming and warm community as a whole, um is wonderful to me. It astounds me in a way, because I had such a I had such a negative view in my brain, the way everybody was wording, like, "Oh, my community," and "Oh, my community." Like, when I first started streaming regularly on Twitch, I was like, "Why is everybody talking about their community? This is very cultish. I don't know how I feel." And now I get it. And so it's a completely different dynamic, and I'm so thankful and grateful. And I need to start looking up words in the thesaurus, because I don't know how many more times everybody's going to accept thank you, because I can't say thank you enough. So I need to start expanding my vernacular and getting some different ways to say thank you, because I can't
I,
do
I
it
think
enough.
think you just need to start getting words from around the world and just take us on a journey around the world with Drew.
Around the world with Drewbearded.
There you go.
So good.
Now, with this year also has been wild as far as game releases and the influence on certain games with Twitch. And I have talked to I don't know. I think I've talked to 3 or 4 Twitch streamers at this point.
Mhm.
And everybody, including you, got sucked into the Animal Crossing streaming.
Oh my goodness, yes. Animal Crossing. S Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It spawned, the monster that is my wife's playing of Animal Crossing. Um, that okay, so before New Horizons came out, I had never played Animal Crossing in my life, Dave. I never. Never. And I was always one of those, like, "What is this Animal Crossing thing? You're just animals and talking to animals and you're in a village and it's gonna take too much time. I don't know what you're doing in this Animal Crossing." That was me. That was me in the background when I was, like, in my teens, being like, "Oh, I'm too cool. I play Final Fantasy. I don't need this Animal Crossing stuff, I do this thing." And so fast forward to now, and of course, I'm playing this Animal Crossing stuff, and it is one of the best video games of all time, if not ever. And I I originally got it. I was like, let me just dip my toe in. Let me see if I like it. And I became obsessed, because I had so much positive experience with it. Like, from meeting new friends through playing the game, through getting help from the Beardies and other people that would just join in. Everybody's so nice, David. All the Animal Crossing community is so nice. I haven't met one jerk face that plays Animal Crossing. I'm sure they're out there. Like, no community is immune to jerk faces. Don't get me wrong, but, like, I haven't met one yet, and that's astounding to me. Um, I've taken it back a little bit, because, like, I try to keep my portfolio diverse when it comes to my games. It's really hard for me to stick to one game. Like, Final Fantasy X right now is killing me, but we'll get to that. But Animal Crossing, that whole entire experience was and still is phenomenal, and they just continue to give us stuff to do, dude. I'm excited for Toy Day. I'm excited for the New Year countdown, man.
Yeah, as we record this, I will fully admit that I missed Thanksgiving, and I've not touched the Switch since then because I intend to go back in time to do Thanksgiving and then go forward to get my winter stuff going on because I love like building snowmen, and I love the snow, and I love getting to like change the outfits because I try to change my person's outfit like every season into something just that's what they're going to wear. And
I
I
love
know
it.
I've got some people to tell them to kick rocks and get off my island,
There you go. Kick rocks, baby. I'm so happy.
but
I'm so happy you use that.
absolutely. And I know, speaking with a number of people, Animal Crossing just came out at the perfect time. Unfortunately due to COVID, but fortunately due to them, where everyone's locked in or, quarantined essentially, or working from home, and March
Yep.
released. And it just I know that the Animal Crossing community on Twitch exploded for a good while. Now it's kind of calmed down to the general mainstays that play it on their rotation. But
Mhm.
it's definitely something where it's like, oh my gosh, like just everybody's out there playing.
It really is. It's just so accessible to everyone. And um the fact that this game, which my parents, by the way, are obsessed. They've dumped more hours into that game than I have. I think they're both over 1,000 hours in, Dave. Over 1,000 hours. Now, this is coming from people that not only they're the most supportive folks on the planet, but like when I was a kid, my mom would never play video games. My mom was like, "Stay away from video games. I hate that you like video games. How dare you play video games?" And for my mom to just, I had to get her a grip for her Switch Lite, David, because her hands started to hurt. And so I was like, "Mom, I can't have your hands hurting." So instead of being like, "Mom, maybe you should take a break," I got her one of those Skull and Co grips with the solid case, so like her hands will be on point, so she could dump even more hours in it. But it's amazing to me that that game is not only as good as it is, but it helps your mental health. It does right by your brain. And the
Hmm.
fact that it's the perfect example of video games bringing folks together and not harming anyone. And you get to it's just cute. It's just cute. If you don't have it and you're listening to this and you have a Switch, just do it. I know if you've never played it, it's worth it. I promise. It's a beautiful. I really just want to grab my Switch right now while we're talking. I'm gonna go play something because it's so good. I was obsessed on Thanksgiving because we had, obviously because of COVID, we had an at-home Thanksgiving with a lot of FaceTime. And we got up real early. We watched the parade. We ate our meal like at 1 in the afternoon. And then like we just hopped on. And between my daughter, my wife, and I, we were just like hanging out, grabbing the recipes, making the meals. Like the wife was the first one to get the first sparkly meal. And I was like, well, I need to get the sparkly meal. I'm not gonna have. So I was like, and of course I was the last one to get like what was it? There's the last task I needed to catch this like crab thing. And I was catching every crab except the one that I needed to. I spent 2 dang hours swimming. Now we're talking, the reason why this is a thing, the reason why this is a thing for me is because I can't swim for too long because it's so relaxing that I will literally fall asleep with my controller or my Switch in my hand. So I'm sitting there trying to keep myself awake and I'm like, I can't, I need the crab. Just give me the crab. I got the crab, but that game is it's just so good. There's something for everyone. It just makes you feel good. Every piece of audio they threw in that thing, it's got ASMR, it's got adorable critters. I love that game. I love that game. You had to bring up Animal Crossing, didn't you? Now I just want to
I
go play
did.
it.
Well, I'm gonna bring up another game
Oh no.
now because and it's not Final Fantasy. I'm
Okay.
gonna hold off on that.
We'll get to
Um,
that one.
one one of the games that I think that surprised everybody because there wasn't really an announcement. There wasn't. I think it's on a direct, and it was, oh, by the way, here's a new Paper Mario game, and it was kind of left like that. Like What do you mean there was a new Paper Mario game? Like, I'd not heard anything about a new Paper Mario game, and I believe out of the people that I watch, you were the first person to stream Paper Mario,
Oh,
and
word.
getting to go on that journey with you was such an incredible time to not only, like, witness, like, what's going on, but to see the pure emotions of what this game did to you. And I know that there's some other Twitch streamers that I follow that were like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to pick up Paper Mario," and then they did, and they had that same reaction of, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this has just happened." But
Dude.
I know that I enjoyed going through it with you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you were there, first of all. Thank you. Because you can actually, oh my gosh, it's so I can go back to that moment in time in my brain, because so it was such an emotional roller coaster. Because first of all, I didn't expect the game to be as good as it was. I expected the game to totally let me down. First and foremost, when they announced it, I got super stoked, because the last experience I had with Paper Mario was the OG on 64, and I was like, okay, I have such good memories with this game. Like, I visually see me in my parents' house, in my room, rocking Evanescence and Eminem in the background, just playing this on 64. Just like, this is incredible. I freaking love this game. And just like fast forward to now, haven't playing any of those others in the series. And apparently there's like some history behind it. We'll get to that. But then, like, being able to experience all of the ups and downs of that game with all of you, and get my daughter involved, and just experience that story, it was one of the most incredible moments for the channel, because not only was it such a pleasant surprise game wise, the game is actually really good. I don't know why it's been like run through the mud. There's no reason. Like, the wheel combat was strange, but it worked for me because I worked on several rotating stages in my career when I was doing theater. So that was like a nice throwback to my brain. I'm like, oh, that's cute. I can't figure out how to work it properly, but that's really cool. Um, and it was an amazing experience. And the fact that this silly little Mario game that had origami paper effects, like, brought such emotion out of me was so astounding. It the storytelling was fantastic. The fact that the whatchamacallit, the main villain made Bowser look like a big old baby. He was evil, dude. I was like, I don't is this technically family friendly? I don't know if I can play this on the channel um under family friendly. But it was definitely the surprise of the year. And the way they dropped it, though, I think if they had dropped it any other way, it wouldn't have done that game justice. I'm really happy they just ripped it off like a band-aid for us.
Yeah, it was incredible for just like to go from announcement to here's the game, and then just to see the journey into the game, and going from, okay, it's Paper Mario and there's a crazy battle system, but it's really neat to like work it out and play along. And that's one of the cool things I think as a watcher on Twitch, or a viewer on Twitch, is to see you try to work it out, and then be like, us, as the audience, essentially, like working out our own paths to figure out the boss battles and the battles itself.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's one of the most beautiful aspects of playing these games with you all, right? Because everybody's brain works differently. And because that's the beautiful thing about, especially here, there's so many different cultures and way to think. Like, getting different perspectives is super, super, super important. And the fact that when you figure out something either faster or in a different way than I do when I'm on this journey with whatever game I'm going through, right? It's it's so fascinating and so cool to be a part of that and see that unfold in real time. It's one of the reasons I love the platform, right? Because you get that real-time interaction, but it's real-time interaction where you can literally influence how things go while you're enjoying the show. Like, because there were several times during that game in particular where I was like, I don't know. And then somebody in the audience would be like, oh, try X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, I didn't even think about that. Now, granted, I'm juggling like 75 things at the same time, so that could very well be a part of it. But the fact that you're all so willing to help, and not in a rudely backseating way, but hey, you should probably think of it this way because of X, Y, and Z reason, and teach me something about the experience. I think it's a lovely back and forth and wonderful element of what we do week in and week out.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I hit Animal Crossing and I touched upon Paper
I know
Mario,
it's coming.
and I'm actually shocked. Okay, I'm shocked because I felt when the question came up in Discord, I was like, man, Drew is going to play a Final Fantasy game, and I know how long they
Mhm.
take, and it just seemed outside of the ordinary, essentially, of the games that you typically pick up and play, and 2 or 3 hours on stream is what you do.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, Drew's going to be playing this for like months,
Mhm.
and that is you are working your way through Final Fantasy X.
I am. I'm working my way through Final Fantasy X. I love Final Fantasy. I really, really do. We were talking about this earlier. And I never got into 10. I know it's one of your favorites, but I never got into 10. I thought up until I started this go around, I thought I had played 4 hours of 10 and put it down. And it turns out I only played about an hour and 10 minutes of 10, my first attempt at that game, and put it down because I met Riku and I was like, yeah, between Tidus and Riku, I can't do this. I can't do an entire experience with these two characters. And people were like, oh, you could turn the voices off. I'm like, no, I've heard them already. It's done. It's over. It's all I'm going to hear in my head when I'm reading the text. So fast forward to the vote put out in the Discord, right? I know around this time of the year, generally speaking, I like to play a long game. I like to do a Final Fantasy. I like to do an RPG that somebody's been telling me about all year, or I like to do a Legend of Zelda. This time of year, like around winter time, December into January, it's almost like my brain says, "Hey, you need to play a Zelda title, otherwise your year is not complete, or your life is not complete wherever you're at." I'm like, "Okay, let's do that, brain." And so with that in mind, I put out the vote. I was between 8, 10, and 12 because I love 12 and I love 8, and neither one of those two I've ever been able to finish. So, because my community loves me, everybody voted for 10. And I was real mad at first, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can look at it with fresh eyes. Maybe, this might teach. If so many people enjoy this game and enjoy this game called Blitzball, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. So, of course, right off the bat, everything looked familiar. I was like, yeah, that's Tidus. That's exactly who I remember despising when I first tried this. But let's get past it and all this fun stuff and this whiny stuff. And then I realized, I think the first like flag that was like, hey, this is going to be a cool experience, was the fact that it was still turn based. I was under the impression they had flipped over to action, and that's what I had remembered in my brain. But then when I realized it was turn based, I was like, oh, I can grind this off stream. This is going to be fantastic. So we're doing our thing. We're doing our thing. Um, and I'm like, I'm trying to map it out in my head, right? Because you're 100%, you're 100% accurate when you say it's a little bit outside the box for the channel. And I'm like, look, I have a show, right? These shows I treat as movies, like feature long presentations. And I think it'll be solid if I do it 3 nights a week. We'll knock out about six to 8 hours, depending on if I go a little bit long or whatnot. I'll grind off stream, and we'll be able to get her done in a reasonable amount of time. Um, And the thing is, because of the pacing of the game, and the only time you really need to pay attention is during a cutscene, it's actually still affording me the interaction with the audience and community that um I have come to be used to and expect, because the last thing that I want to do is just be sitting there looking at the screen and playing this game.
Hmm.
Because that, truth be told, that's just not my style. It's not what I'm here to do. It's a reason why I market my show. I'm a variety show host that features my favorite hobby that happens to be on Twitch. Because truth be told, I can pick up the show and move it anywhere. The format I have is very flexible. It doesn't have to be on Twitch. It's just Twitch was what was introduced to me. But so far, I'm having a good time with it. Blitzball is the demon. I never want to play Blitzball ever again. There. I have a video on my YouTube of the final attempt in trying to beat it, and all you get is a stupid sphere thing. It's not even the ultimate weapon for Waka, which I found
Oh
out
no!
later, which
Oh
I was
no!
real mad. So ultimately, the only reason that video exists was out of principle, because I was like, I am beating this now because I couldn't do it on the show. I couldn't do it in that 2+ hours. And if you haven't seen the video yet, you'll just have to go watch it, because I'm not going to ruin the surprise. Because some of the beardies already did that. I was real mad. I was real mad. I wasn't real mad. Whenever I say I'm real mad, I'm not actually mad.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, and I've said it before to you on stream. It's like I've probably sunk about 100+ hours into it, and a good 30 or 40 hours is playing
I don't know how you
Blitzball
do it.
and getting my team and getting them all, you know, great. And at a certain point, it gets tedious. But I'm like, I'm going to get that weapon.
I know.
It's gonna come at some point, and it's easier to get that weapon than say some other people's weapons.
Not in my run. That get boof. That weapon can kick rocks. I can't even talk. It's like the rage just wells up. I hate blitzball, man. I don't know how you do it. 30 to 40 hours, man. Whew.
Yep.
You know what? Different strokes for different folks. I'm just saying.
That's right. But it's definitely one of my favorite games. And I'm crossing my fingers that there are certain cutscenes that you're going to hit that I hope I'm in stream to watch, and if not, I'll just have to watch her on video on demand because I just love certain chunks of that game. It's like
I will align with you on that,
wonderful.
man. Like there are some great, not only visuals but touching moments in that game that I was not expecting. I Titus finally had a moment the other night where I was like, okay, all right, you're starting to get it now. Where I was surprised about, because I completely anticipated 100% of the time hating Titus. And in reality, I know he's going to grow into a better person by the end. But somebody already told me the end on Twitter, and I didn't anticipate it having it like it's not ruined at this point. Like if I find out the end of a 20-year-old game, like it's my fault for not playing it. Like I can't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been out there. I haven't played it, and I love Final Fantasy, so what's wrong with me? Um, so it's going to be interesting to see the journey to that point. But I'm genuinely enjoying the experience so far because of that old school flair that it still has. I am a huge fan of grinding. Anything you literally have to just sit there and like battle enemies after enemies after enemies. It's probably one of the reasons I still love Pokemon to this day. Because if I just want to sit there, like granted, it's super easy to level up without grinding. Like you get all those candies now in Galar, and you're like, well, my Pokemon's gonna be freaking huge, but here you go. There's level 100. We're done. What's next? Um, but it's a truly enjoyable experience, and I'm looking forward to see where the story it takes us.
Hmm. Absolutely. So with streaming, especially this year, there's been a number of games that have come across that people have picked up and put down. What's one of the games that has hit harder for you? Of dang, like I can't believe here I am playing this game on stream. Is there one that stands out more than others? Is it just
Final Fantasy X, definitely. But out of the games that were recommended to me before last night, it was Among Us, because it was originally recommended to me by our friend Manning. He had recommended it back in, I think, May. He was like, Drew, you need to play this game. I'm like, I'm not going to play this game. He's like, Drew, you need to play this game. And I was like, I'm stubborn. I don't know what I'm doing yet because I haven't hit that part in my streaming journey that I need to listen. So of course, here I am playing Among Us. And then the second one was last night. The subs, I love you, subs of greatness. I do. They wanted me to play Fortnite. So we played Fortnite on the show last night. And I feel my cheek is getting red because here's how it went down. So, first of the month, we've got a sub Saturday because I like to add value to what you all get. And you all get an extra show, an extra time with me where we can just hang out, not be stressed about chat, and just enjoy the experience of us coming together, enjoying our company, and taking part in these silly games that we couldn't have even dreamed of 15 years ago. Right. And so I conveyed my story of how Epic got me 3 times this week. They got me one time. And by got me, I mean they have these skins that I don't play Fortnite, but obviously I'm going to drop the money for these dang skins. I hate you, Epic. If you're listening to this, kick rocks for this. You're smart. You're freaking smart. So prior to this week, they had already gotten me with the Demogorgon skin and the John Wick skin. Okay. And then they had this Christmas event last year where like I got all sorts of free stuff. And I was like, this is cool. I don't play Fortnite, but hey, there's some different skins. Maybe I'll pick it up a couple of times. They're going to do some cool stuff. Fast forward to this week. They got me once because of the Venom skin. Okay. Looks super dope with all of the axe coming out of his arm and all that fun stuff. They got me again because they released a Kratos skin, which I love God of War. I absolutely adore that series. It's gonna go down in my gaming history as one of my favorite, my favorite antithesis game of everything I am as a human being. Like for lack of a better, like I would never want to in real life. I would never want to in real life rip out somebody's spine and beat him with it. Like I would never like. I have a couple of guilty pleasures in gaming, which I'll actually touch upon because it makes sense. They're related. But yeah, I got the Kratos skin, and then because I had a little bit left over, they have the Mando skin for Mandalorian, and there's this apparent quest line that you have to finish to get the baby Yoda, who I'm behind on Mandalorian, so I just found out he got a name now, and I'm still calling him Baby Yoda like a pleb, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, I'm a mess. I'm behind on Mandalorian, but we'll talk about that here in a moment. But yeah. So we ended up playing Fortnite last night. It was actually really fun because we did some creative mode, and I ended up winning one for the first time ever. I never won a battle royale, but thanks to Manning and his carrying all of us on it, because it was him, it was me, and Robin and Killer, and we were all just like, yeah, Manning, go ahead, kill the thing, do the thing. And Manning's just over here popping guys. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't know how you're doing. Oh my goodness. And in creative mode, David, I don't know how these kids do it. He's like popping 360s while shooting people and building all these ramps and walls. And I'm like, I'm staring at the screen like, look at how good I play. Because obviously he's killed me like 3 times. Look at, I'm great. See, no hands, mom. And it's just Fortnite.
Yeah, I always joke that my time of first person shooters started and ended with like Wolfenstein and Doom, because once it evolved beyond the 4 keys and the space bar, that was it.
Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. And the thing is, I didn't even play with a mouse and keyboard until I was older, because I was like, no, controllers are better. Like I'm looking at dumb past me, like you're an idiot. You're just just shut your mouth. You ever have those moments where you're like, you're thinking back when you're just talking, when you're in your youth, and you're just like, you just want to walk back in time simply to say, shut your mouth, you're an idiot, and then just walk away.
Oh yeah, there's definitely times where I look back and it's like, oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Wherever I end up in the afterlife, if there is one, they're gonna show me what I've accomplished, and I'm just gonna sit there and be like, I did what? Oh yeah, I did do that. I said that. That's great. Winning.
One of the things that I had wanted to bring up, and I made sure to mention to you before we started, was one of the things this year that you've done that I've noticed specifically, and I want to make sure that I definitely mention it on on the podcast here.
Mhm.
I was about to say stream. I was like, I'm not streaming anything. I
I
don't know
asked
what I'm
him
going
to,
to
y'all.
talk
Hey,
about.
audience who's listening, I asked him to. He told me no.
But one of the things that I wanted to mention was this year you have partnered with a number of charity streams to raise money for a variety of charities. And as again a person who watches a number of people streaming, it's not something that you generally see, or you'll see maybe it coinciding with something going on. However, you have consistently partnered with numbers of charities to raise money for those charities. And I just want to say that I think it's super
Thank you.
awesome that that you do that and you dedicate your streams towards that rather than like not really, I guess, not really using the position or using your platform for just you, that you share that platform with
Yeah,
others.
absolutely, man. Thank you for that. I appreciate that a lot, because charity to me has always been important. I've always been an advocate for giving when you can, right? I want to leave this world better than I found it. I want those that are less fortunate, not in the best of spots, ostracized, uh, folks that need help. I want them to know that there are people on the planet that may not know them personally, but that will go to bat for them. And the fact that I've had as many opportunities as I've had, which truth be told, I honestly thought I was surprised at our previous conversation on this subject, because I thought that I was doing very little, to be honest. Um, but the fact that it has been so notable, it does mean a lot to me. It means a great deal, because I just, if I have the opportunity, if I have the opportunity to do better in this world, I will. We did the what is it? American Suicide Prevention stream with Crit Status and his friend. I can't remember off the top of my head. We did 2 shows with Stack Up. We did a show for Trevor Project. Um, yeah, but we've done a couple, and it's been wonderful every time. The most notable one that I've worked with so far would be Stack Up. There's a lovely woman. She goes by Tater S online. Her name is Christy. And the first one that I did with her, oh, we also did one for Pause. I almost forgot Esther's and Pause. I'm so sorry about that. Um, but yes, Christy was so wonderful. The way they have it set up for us as streamers or entertainers, whatever you want to call us, um, they make it very plain on how to set up your stream, and just super encouraging through the entire process. So my advice to anybody that really wants to get into the charity space or do anything good for anyone really is just to do it. I didn't realize how easy it was. Um, with all the programs that we're all using as it is, Streamlabs OBS, Stream Elements, and OBS Vanilla, um, you have the ability to connect with Tiltify. And a lot of these charities are on Tiltify. And if they're not on Tiltify, they're on Donor Drive. And all of these have their own sources. So a lot of people's hiccups, myself included, was about how how can I do this? Like how am I going to raise money for this charity? Because that was my initial roadblock. I was like, I mean, I'd love to. I'm not very large, but I like helping people. But what was positioned to me and what really hit home, especially during the stack up shows, was it's not about your size, it's about getting visibility. So like, even if you don't hit your goals, which truth be told, the only goal that I haven't hit so far when I did charity was the last one. And that was because nobody wanted me to shave my head and my beard. Like, truth be told, I think I shot myself in the foot for that one because of what I made the end goal to be, because I mean, my name is Drewbearded. Like, nobody's going to want my beard to go away. Even when I'm like, I get these moments, I'll get to this in a moment, but I get these uh, moments in the year where I'm like, I really want to shave my face, but I can't because it's part of my brain brand. So yeah, I'm so thankful that I have had the opportunities to work with these charities and really do some good with the platform that I'm creating. And it's one of the major tent poles of why I want to be as big as I want to be. So those charity streams can hit even harder. The good that we can do for the world will be even greater, you know? Um, because I am so thankful that we were able to raise over $1,100 for that last stack up stream. I think in total, how much I've raised for charity with the show so far this year, I think over 2,500. No, it has to be over 3K. Yeah. Oh, I think over 3K I've helped to raise for charity this year. And that's in conjunction with the partners that I did for the American Suicide Prevention folks, as well as my own shows, which I've done for Pause and Stack Up and Trevor Project, which it's just been really, really cool, dude. I can't, the stuff that I'm doing with the channel, if I told Drew from 10, 15 years ago that I was going to be doing this, uh, going into my 35th year of life, I would have looked at him and be like, but how? Because it's never been, it's never been for me that I wasn't going to do it. It's always been for me, how am I going to get there? That's never been apparent for me or my brain, which is half the reason why everything in life so far, I've just been like, it's going to work itself out. I don't know how yet, but it will.
And that's a good positive attitude to have, because if not, then you are on the flip side of things.
It's true. And you know what, the important thing about that though is to have the realistic mentality of, you may not understand how something is going to happen. You may get that it will happen, but you still have to put in that work to get there. Nothing is ever going to be given to you, because even the folks that send us stuff, that trust us with keys to games, trust us with a piece of swag, right? They bore witness to the work that was put in to get you to where you are, in turn inspiring them to do that for you. So if anybody listening out there wants to do something, just remember, the work that you put in will be recognized. It just might look a little different than you originally intended.
Absolutely. Now, before I ask like one of my final questions about Twitch, is there anything that I haven't asked you? Is there anything that you want to put out there and talk about the past year in Twitch, video games, what you've gotten into the past year, anything at all?
Man, if y'all could make Drewbearded trend, that'd be great. No, I'm just kidding. It's been a blast, dude. I can't have asked for a more positive and fulfilling journey than I've had so far. And I think the most beautiful thing about that statement is, it's only just begun. I know I sing that on a regular basis to y'all on the show, But it's true. Between partnership with Manual Creative Arts Academy, between like subs asking me to create more content for them to consume, like how many subs do you know of any channel that ask them to make them ads? Like I'm dead. I wish I was kidding. Like I'm sure the person that's listening to that sentence that came out of my mouth is like, what is he talking about? But I crap you not. My subs want me to make them ads, y'all. They want me because they what I believe the root of that is they see the joy that goes into each of these projects, right? It's not all of the investment and monetary side of it and items and materialistic side of this, it stems from me wanting to give you all everything, because everything that I get the opportunity to create is one step closer to a goal that we're all going to enjoy, right? I th- there's something that's said all the time about artists, and it still rings true to this day. And I see it. I see the rebuts online all the time, right? About when an artist is like, they don't do it for the money, they do it for the love of it, right? The reality of that statement is this: I love everything that I get to create for anybody that gets to consume it at any point in the history of while I'm on this planet, right? I'm only doing it because I love it. You don't stay up until 3 a.m. when you have to be at your 9 to 5 at 7:45 because you're making millions off of this one thing that you're doing. You know, you're doing and pouring your soul into it because you love it. And the thing that I happen to love is looking like a complete buffoon in front of a camera. So y'all can enjoy that anytime that you want. But no, really, um, we've got tons of fun stuff planned for the show. There's going to be a New Year celebration video coming here shortly because everybody's like, you need to include Poppy, the new puppy. And I'm like, you're so right. Plus, I don't want to risk any of the DMCA stuff that's been floating around. There's going to be more YouTube videos. I've got 2 games on the docket. One isn't even out yet, and one I've yet to experience. That's going to go up. I'm starting to get my sea legs on for my YouTube, which is nice. I didn't exactly know what to put on my YouTube. It started as like, okay, I'll just put my VODs on the YouTube like a lazy streamer. Um, but then it's evolved. Like it's include my wife, my daughter, and they're a big part of the show too. I need to give them so much credit because they put up with so much of my crap, Dave. So much of my crap. Like I am not. And my wife is always like, no, that's not true. It is true, honey. If you end up listening to this episode, just know this is 100% true. Anybody that is willing to put up with my shenanigans and how crazy that I am deserves every bit of everything in the world that they get, because I am a handful, man. I'm like, when I need to create something, I have to go do it because I'm like, I'm gonna forget it because I'm old. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. But like, it's really cool to see because even she's starting to get it. Like we made a reel together. Technically, she was the producer and I was like the director, and we just did it. We have a Santa doll that Essie happened to put this giant chain on, and she was like, you need to make a reel of this Santa because he's just staring at me in my soul and he looks like a rapper right now. And I look up and I'm like, there's this Santa that's like, oh my goodness, yeah, you should be on the cover of a P. Diddy album. And of course we made that reel that I released today. So I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for the Beardies. I'm thankful for everybody involved in everything. I'm thankful for folks like you who are kind enough to ask me to be on their show, and I get to work with all of these people from diverse backgrounds, and just I I can't say thank you to everybody that I've gotten involved with so far. And 2021 is going to be so awesome because I'm just going to have all these zany ideas and I'm going to bounce them off you all, and you're going to look at me like I'm insane. It's going to be great. So
And see, I was going to ask what your plans were for the next
Oh,
year,
word.
and you already laid it
I
out.
tried. I mean, the beautiful thing about what we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish is I have complete freedom, complete creative freedom to do what I want because everybody's like, "Oh, I'm a variety streamer. I'm a variety streamer. I'm a variety." Yeah, I get that. But what does that mean? What does that mean exactly? Right? You need to pinpoint that. I'm a showman, David. I'm going to entertain the hell out of you whether you ask me to or not. And if I'm not doing so, I'm going to evolve to figure out how to do so. So 2021 is going to be exciting AF because I'm going to make it so. Before the year is out, I will have collaborated with the 4 people, yourself included, um, that I want to work with on a regular basis because I believe in what we're all trying to achieve. And if we can all help each other in one way or another, I'd like for that to happen. So I'm really excited for what 2021 has in store for Drewbearded, the brand, me, the family, the beardies, you. Let's do it. Let's make 2021 awesome.
Absolutely. And I don't think I have anything else unless there's something that I have missed. And so I'm just going to make sure.
I know, I'm trying to think. Like, what is it? I don't know. I got stuff happening and I like talking to you in a recorded format. I don't know, man.
I feel like I have at least gotten to a Jungle Cruise guide level of getting us down the river for tonight.
I agree. I agree. And see here, I was worried that I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be a terrible guest. He's going to ask me all these questions I'm not going to have answered." And that's what happens every time with you, David. We'll like start talking. I'm like, "I'm not going to have anything to talk about to Tails, man. He's going to just sit here and be like, what is this fool wanting to talk to me about?" And then we end up like over an hour in. I'm like, "Well, where did that hour go?" All right. Well,
Right?
that's
And I mean, to be honest to the people that are listening, we talked for about 30 minutes before we even started
we
this
did.
recording. So
It's been amazing. I love it. I'm so happy to have met you in my journey so far, and I look forward to seeing all the wonderful things in the pipeline for you as well, my friend.
well, I always find it funny with specifically with you because I know that especially with Twitch, I came in initially on someone's raid to your channel,
I
and
know.
sometimes I don't automatically follow somebody. So I was like, okay, I dig it, and then I forgot. Like I was like I didn't follow, and I was like, oh gosh, I don't remember like this person's name, and I was waiting to like maybe this person will get rated again, and it didn't happen. I was like, come on now, and I think I like started slowly figuring out like trying different variations of bearded until I got it right. I was like, okay, I found the person I was watching.
Well, I think I still might have been Bearded Drew Games at that point too.
I don't think so.
No?
I think you're Drew bearded at the time,
Okay.
but
Cool.
is definitely like like I was like bearded Drew, like just trying to figure it out, and eventually I worked it out, and
Good.
I was
Well, I'm
like,
happy
okay,
you did. I'm happy you did, and we're here. We've now known each other officially over a year, which is freaking cool. It's awesome.
yeah, it's definitely something I love that you're going to eventually experience the same thing that I experienced with with my kids and getting to see SE grow up and like get into new things and be part of the stream. And I will never forget stuff that your wife has done on stream.
Gosh, I know you won't.
With
Oh, that woman.
let's see here, a shark that's always great.
Yeah, oh my gosh, speaking of shark, I got a present. Did you see Robin's present yet?
I do not think so.
Oh my gosh, I'll need to send you a picture. She did a whole mosaic shark of greatness. She did a mosaic shark of greatness.
That is awesome.
It's so cool. And speaking of the daughter, I how could I have forgotten this? I want to do a show where we play Untitled Goose Game because they added multiplayer. So I want to see where she leads us. because I think it would be hilarious.
Oh gosh, that would be so much fun to watch.
So good. Oh man, I'll let you know when that happens.
Awesome. Well, I think we're at the end here. If people have listened and they want to find you, what are the best places to do so, Drew?
When people have listened, David, when people have listened, Drewbearded everywhere. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page, Twitch, YouTube. If you type Drewbearded into Google, I'm literally like the first thing that comes up. It's pretty great.
That is awesome. I love the power of that algorithm. Granted, eventually you have to like start trying it on computers or phones that you don't use just to like double check. And you're like,
I know I haven't done that yet. I'm too scared to. I like that, having that like pin in my hat, and I'm like, yeah, I Googled Drewbearded and it's the first one that comes up. It's because it's your phone, Drew. You're not that big yet. Stop it. I will be. I will.
That's right.
It's the exact opposite when I'm recording with you, by the way. Like, usually I get loud and like I zoom in on the show, but I have to like whisper because it's audio. It's like, David, I'm right up against the mic.
I love it. I love it. Well, I will make sure to have the links in the show notes, the Facebook page, the website, along with a link to your original episode that took place a little bit over a year ago as the time of this release. And Drew, I just want to say thank you once again for coming back and for being a great host in your own right on your channel and making everybody feel welcome. And it's such a pleasure to have you as a friend.
Yeah, man. Same here. Thank you so much for having me again. And I'm so thankful to have you in my life. I am.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/talesfromthefandom to see photos, links, leave feedback, and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.